So my technical position is development, marketing, and communications. So um, really what that means is I do a lot of different things. So I work in the fundraising department for Stepping Stones. We put on programs for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities in the greater Cincinnati area. But I work specifically in fundraising. We do these 4 big events per year. So I work on those events and also these special fundraising campaigns we do throughout the year. As far as like what I actually do, I do a little bit of a lot. So um, I don't know if you remember, I majored in electronic media and communication. So I could actually bring kind of both of those into this role. So I am writing press releases, emails, um, communicating with people, but I'm also, I'm doing our social media, I'm creating video content, I'm managing our website. So I really do dabble in a lot of different things. I do a lot of graphic design in my job too. Um, so yeah, I'd say it's a combination of different things and a lot. I think of what I had the opportunity to do in Bearcast, I'm able to apply here as well. Kind of how I discovered Stepping Stones is I was looking for jobs because I actually was going to be doing audio engineering at Cedar Point last summer, and then with everything with COVID, I ended up deciding not to go. Um, so I was trying to find some sort of full-time positions in the area, and I found Stepping Stones and Handshake. Um, and the combination of have the role being what I wanted, like having a lot of my interest and also being in the nonprofit sector and having experience through my internships with that, it just felt like a really good fit for me. Um, you know, I to just be completely like transparent and honest with you, like I'm not 100% sure like nonprofit is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. But at this point in time, it makes the most sense for me. I think it's really rewarding working in a nonprofit because you get to, you feel like you're working towards something good and you actually get to see some of that change happen. Especially working in fundraising because, you know, we'll put on this big event and then we will see like we raise this number of money. So there's, some quantitative like number, like there's a quantity that you can latch onto that's like, this is our success. I think in e-media, like specifically, you kind of learn the basis for a lot, um, but you don't really, to really grow in those areas and what you learn, you have to put it into action. And I think Bearcast is the catalyst for like making that action happen, for making you grow in these areas. For example, I talked about graphic design, right? It's something we had learned about in e-media, especially in our earlier classes, but it wasn't necessarily the focus beyond that. You get laid the groundwork, but you only learn so much. You have to continue that teaching for yourself or that experience yourself. I don't know if you know it's like the teal orange Bearcast flyer that has been used for a little while. I designed that, for example. I designed stuff for my radio show. And now like I'm working in Adobe Illustrator almost every single day I'm at work. So getting that experience, I think definitely helped me there. Also like video editing, like 100%. Like I only did so much video work in my media classes because I was more on the audio track. I got more exposure to that through Bearcast, and now I feel comfortable editing videos, even though it's not necessarily my focus. It is something like I feel confident in being able to do, and also knowing that it's going to turn out well. Like it's not like I'm just putting something together. Like I'm not just throwing it together. I can make a good product as well, which is pretty cool. I feel like there's several parts of this answer, and like I feel like the most obvious one is just you like you like learn a lot of different things. And there's like the actual hands-on like learning, like going to the Queen City sessions and how do we set up these microphones to capture like the drums, for example. I'm like literally learning hands-on things like that, learning editing, learning how to plan for music festivals. So there's a lot of those smaller skills that you learn over time. um, but I think like something that really challenged me was serving as the general manager, just because it's such a different role compared to like artist relations, where I was actually planning this big event. I had a task. Now instead of doing that, I was in this position where I was managing a whole team of people and working with everyone. And I think we all had things that we strongly cared about and had passion about. And how do we take that passion and work together to create something to better the organization? So kind of taking on that leadership role, I think definitely pushed me. And also something that goes along with that, I think there's a lot that I can apply when I was applying for jobs, at my job now when I'm taking leadership on projects. Um, yeah, I mean, you got that. I got that experience that I think I could apply here as well.
So my current role is I work for an organization that essentially we collaborate with other nonprofits, government agencies, hospitals, schools, you name it, in the nonprofit sector, focusing on how these organizations can work differently, and work better by working most closely with the people who are impacted by the social issues they're working on. So, yeah, so I'm usually working pretty hands on with organizations so that they can really redesign their programs and services to help share power with community members and look at their work from a racial equity lens, from a social justice lens, while also taking like a creative design approach as well to help them think differently about issues and come to better solutions. I I don't know how I got into the nonprofit sector. I mean, my mom worked at the University of Cincinnati, and my dad worked at a high school as a teacher. So I feel like um, I've always been drawn to a sense of civic engagement, but then I think, yeah, I don't know. I've always been really called to um, community issues and social causes. So I think it was going to happen. It was going to happen one way or the other. As far as like what I'm excited about or what my favorite part is, um, yeah, I mean, I'm most often working with organizations who might be working with communities, but they may not really be thinking about working with communities in any other way other than like I'll send you a survey or I'll invite you maybe to like a focus group or a community engagement session. I have an opportunity to train community members to be researchers so that when we're working on an issue together, like um, trying to understand what the barriers are to parents accessing high quality preschool, for instance, like we would train parents to become researchers to ask other parents about those research questions. So yeah, it's really awesome. I really love it. I get to meet a lot of new people, and I feel like we do better work. We learn things that I wouldn't learn if I were doing the research myself. So oh gosh, just take all of the opportunities that you can in school. I'm not saying like maybe don't do what I did and like pack everything in, but I feel like looking back, there's just so much about college that is really, man, I'm about to sound so cliche, but like there's just so much to discover in college, and you have a safety net of, you've got advisors and like organizations like Bearcast that are really there to help you. And so just, I guess, take advantage of all of it.
I'm Brandon Kisker. I currently work for Make-A-Wish chapter out in California. It's got the longest name of any Make-A-Wish chapter, but I work for Make-A-Wish Northeastern and Central California and Northern Nevada. And when I was in Bearcast, I was the general manager and I was the assistant sports director, apart from having some on-air radio shows. Now I work at Make-A-Wish, and I work in the marketing and communication side of things. But you know what? It's fun that my e-media skills and actually my Bearcast skills have come to play a number of times, even being, away from the microphone in sports. So I do a lot of design stuff. I do a lot of marketing stuff, social planning, pretty much everything that you all would have to do. But one of the cool things that we get to be involved in with my team is that a lot of the wishes that our community here in the area gets to see and hear about and feel, my team does. So I have planned and executed a number of different public wishes that have made news, that have transcended, the entire nation. Giving you a couple examples, I planned a wish for a teenager who wanted to be a pop star. So we have an area here in town that that's called Old Sacramento. It's kind of similar in feel and vibe to, well, maybe it's really not. It's kind of got the ancient, like the historical references and historical look of an old Western city, but it's kind of a little bit close to Over the Rhine. Like it's still kind of a cool place, but it's a little bit more touristy than Over the Rhine. But so I got to go. We got to go there. We filmed the music video that was there, and she was lip syncing a Kids Bop song. And it was the most fun she had. I mean, she got makeup and everything, and she got to pose in a purple Jeep, or not Jeep, purple Mercedes G-Wagon, and just got the whole pop star experience, and then got to go and debut her finished music video at the hospital that she gets treatment in. Like, that's cool to be able to plan something like that, and to see someone who was relentlessly bullied for her condition and felt like there was no hope for her, to be able to give her that experience and make her feel so special and so loved was so rewarding. And, as much as you think, my dreams were, of course, to be a broadcaster in the NHL, and, one ring down from that is not bad, but it really makes you think about your life when you're like, I could be talking about sports right now, but instead I get to take, little Michaela and give her this pop star experience. And it's going to be a memory that her family will always remember, and she'll be always able to draw strength on. And even last year, actually, around, it's almost a year ago to the day, when we stopped working because of COVID, stopped doing any kind of public thing. And the very last public wish reveal we had before we shut down for COVID was a girl named Deirdre, a teenager, really. She was 18. She's a little on the older side, but her wish was to have a MacBook Pro and video equipment. Of course, like, I'm into that because it's e-media. Like, it's all the stuff that I like to play with still. And so we actually went over to her house, and I brought over my radio gear that I had, and I set up a radio gear under the guise that I was from the radio station. And because we did not want to have her in public, we sent the radio station to her, and we recorded this radio interview that I did on behalf of a station up in Redding, California. And we ended up surprising her there with an inopportune doorbell ring, that all of her video gear and her laptop was there. And to be able to not only do that and give her that wish, but also to be able to use the skills that I learned in Bearcast and in e-media and in the professional life as a broadcaster before this, to be able to take all of those things and then be able to grant a wish was really cool and really special. So, that's always one that will always live on for me. And Michaela's my gal, so the pop star wish is, chef's kiss. It's awesome. But, it's really just a fun job to be able to do, because you always know that you're making an impact, whether it means you're trying to help raise some money for more wishes to be granted, or when we get back to normal, I can do a little bit more planning on some fun wishes that we have. When one door opens or one door closes, another one does open. And this was one of those things that when I had the opportunity to work for Make-A-Wish, honestly, it was so special. It's something that everyone knows what Make-A-Wish is, what we do. There is that misconception that people think we just do wishes for dying kids or terminal kids, but we actually, like 75% of our kids live healthy lives afterwards, but they're impacted by like a really horrible disease, whether it's cancer or otherwise. So it's fun to be able to give those moments back to people. And when I had that opportunity presented to me to join the nonprofit side of things, it wasn't a question. But I've been able to utilize skills from the for-profit world and bring those to nonprofit. And, should something ever change in the future, and I can guarantee you there are things from nonprofit that I can take to a for-profit and you could benefit. It's just really just gaining more experience. And that's really the kind of goal of all of college and Bearcast and all of the clubs. We always used to say that the e-media is a major, like you felt like a well-rounded, you got a little bit of everything and stuff like that, or whether you were a comm student or a journalism student, you could still be a well-rounded student, but really your experience in college is what you make of it, right? So if you're doing stuff in Bearcast because you enjoy it, it's something you want to do or pursue as a hobby or a career, just, you got to do it, right? So that's kind of, I think, what's motivated me and pushed me along the times, whether it be going from college or, an internship to professional broadcasting, and then from that to the nonprofit world. So there hasn't been really one specific event that got me a wish, but I certainly am lucky and fortunate to be where I'm at with it.